Hello, and welcome to the presentation on smallpox. I apologize for this weird voice. I am sitting in a dead silent hotel lobby at 3 a.m. and am not exactly interested in voicing my slides. Regardless, shall we begin? Smallpox, otherwise known as variola major and minor, is a potentially deadly virus that infects humans. Biology of the pathogen. The virus has a short life cycle. It enters the host cell, the DNA replicates, and then the new DNA leaves the cell to infect others. Additionally, smallpox only naturally infects humans and does not exist in a carrier state. Physically, smallpox is pretty uninteresting. It is a brick-shaped virus with an envelope that it steals from a host cell. The core contains the viral double-stranded DNA and proteins. Smallpox has an incubation period of between 7 and 17 days after exposure and only becomes infectious once the fever develops. A distinctive rash appears 2 to 3 days later. The most infectious period is during the first week of illness, although a person with smallpox is still infectious until the last scabs fall off. Per usual, young children and the elderly are the most susceptible. Other than these two, no specific group has a higher chance than another regardless of gender, geography, or age. Geographically, the disease was located on every continent at the time of its existence. Smallpox was eradicated in 1977 with a kill percentage of 30% of all infected. Despite its low kill percentage, millions were infected, making smallpox one of the most deadly diseases of all time. Symptoms occur in 3 stages. Early symptoms: fever, overall discomfort, headache, severe fatigue, severe back pain, and vomiting. Mid-symptoms: flat, red spots appear on face, hands and forearms. Many of these lesions turn into small blisters filled with clear fluid, which then turns into pus. Late symptoms: scabs begin to and eventually fall off, leaving deep, pitted scars. The image shown on the slide is that of a man covered in lesions. These lesions usually appear around the 2nd week and don't change into blisters for another week or 2. At that point they become scabs and the person either dies or infects tons of others. Pathology of smallpox. Interesting to me, is that the smallpox virus attacks red blood cells instead of white. The disease uses proteins to disrupt the immune system until it can put an overwhelming amount of virus in the blood and cause direct organ failure. Smallpox spreads through contact with infected people. Treatment is a slippery slope because it seems relatively easy. Once diagnosed with smallpox, one simply needs the vaccine within 4 days of infection for the disease to be prevented or the symptoms severely weakened. However, if the disease finishes incubation, it isn't curable. Lastly, the disease lasts around 5 weeks if the host survives. I hope you enjoyed the simulation.